Is this thing on? All right. Camera rolling. What's up, everybody? It is Imani Lenz, creative artist using video, photo, and music to preserve stories rooted in culture and community, and just to amplify those positive, amazing narratives that are out there and doing it in a way that is creative. So the reason why I'm making this video, I want to let you in on another project that I have and I'm starting. And the project is less of a project and more of a community. This community is built by creators such as myself, people who are using a camera, people who are using a phone, people who make meaningful content. And that content is what you're doing and you love doing it, right? So the name of this platform that I'm creating and I'm starting is called Film Trips. Film Trips. And Film Trips is at its core group experiences led by content creators. Now, let me break that down. I'm going to say it again. Film Trips is all about group experiences led by content creators. Let me tell you how I came up with this concept and why I know this is the next wave of content creation. There's an interesting thing happening in the industry, in the media, whatever you want to call it, in society with content creators or creators as the simplified version is called. You have people who make content, whether with your camera or your phone. A lot of those people are making money, they're monetizing their content in a passive way. If I meet these many criteria, if I get these many views, I'm hoping to get paid from YouTube. I'm hoping to get paid from a brand deal. I'm hoping to get paid for whatever it is. There's a lot of creators who are waiting passively to be discovered, to be found. And I've sat back for 5 years looking, researching, how are these creators making money? And what I noticed is that there's a huge gap in the market. When I say gap, I'm talking about a huge opportunity because you got to think about this. There's more creators than there's ever been before. You can call it the gig economy, you can call it the creator economy or creative economy, but let's just stick with creators. There's more creators than there have been ever before in the history of in the history of the world. Okay? Anybody can be a creator. So I think about what defines a creator. Someone who creates meaningful content. Meaningful is very subjective. That they are then able to share with their community or their audience. So that community can be 10 people, it could be 1 million people. So when you say creator, there's been a massive gap of what creator actually means. And it means something slightly different depending if you have 1,000 followers or if you have 50 million followers. There's a massive gap of what creator means. And that gap, right, I don't have my phone on me. Now that gap, you add technology. Before, to be a creator or somebody who made meaningful content, you needed to be a professional videographer. That was the term. A professional photographer or a vlogger, right? Few years ago, there was no creator. It was, you're a vlogger, you're a videographer, you're a photographer. Now the term creator can be applied to so many different people and aspects and industries You name it. Every industry has some type of creator, somebody who's talking about that thing or making meaningful content for people to digest and consume. Bear with me now. Now you have technology, the best technology we've had, and now you have the most creators we've ever had. Those two ingredients has caused, not me saying it, has caused a massive saturation in the digital landscape. A massive saturation of creators who all can create meaningful content. Notice I didn't say professional. Notice I didn't say story driven. Notice I didn't say movies. Meaningful content. That content is meaningful, whether it's your song, you're doing a dance on TikTok, whether you're talking about your business, whether you're a signed artist doing a brand activation, whether you're this big brand who's hiring content creators to create content for them so you can increase your numbers, so you can sell more products to people. There's so many creators. Here's the problem. The market is saturated. The market is saturated. Me being a creator has now become synonymous with the other person who has 5 million persons being a creator. And if I'm not making 5 million, if I don't have 5 million views or whatever, hundreds of thousands of views, my value, thinking in a capitalistic mindset, my value based on capitalism is less. Because I don't have as much value. What the numbers and the metrics and all those things are saying is I don't have the value to get a brand deal from XYZ creator. Now, not saying there aren't companies out there who solve for that, where you don't have to have 1 billion followers or metrics. The industry has changed in that respect, where there are companies out there who you don't have to have 1 billion. But think about this. There still is a perceived value or perceived mindset from so many creators who have not and probably will not reach the threshold where they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars being a creator. It's a very small amount. Let's say there's a few thousand. There's millions and millions and millions of people in the world who not reach hundreds of thousands of dollars making content. So what that does is cause this false expectation in our minds, a false expectation that if I post hard enough, if I just need one video to go viral, that's it. That's all I need, one video, right? How many even the word viral, the concept of going viral, that means boom, you were popping off, you were. Nowadays, viral, anybody can go viral. And that's not coming from a place of a person who has not gone viral. I made content that's gone viral, but it wasn't my face on it. But I was still a creator. I just didn't get the credit for it. So I want you to think about this. The state of creativity, the state of the creator economy is changing. And there's this massive saturation in the digital landscape. Not everybody's going to get the brand deal. Not everybody's going to get the numbers and the metrics. Not everybody's going to go viral. So, and then you have add on that, you have digital fatigue. So you have more people who are creators making more content that is better and higher quality. You have less people who are handing out the brand deals. So you have a digital space that's saturated. And now you have more creators who are burnt out, more creators who are tired, more creators who are like, why am I doing this in the first place? More creators who lose sight of their original vision, more creators chasing the algorithm, right? More creators who are fatigued and are like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. Okay. So that's me talking about the problem. Now, why I created film trips. Why am I creating film trips? Again, me as an observer, I've been sitting back watching, listening, researching, observing how the industry and the market is changing. You have this massive you have this massive thing we call transactional processing. Transaction is, I need this. Capitalism says, okay, I'm going to make a way to make it faster, cheaper, and more affordable so you can have it. And I'm doing it this way differently. And so you're going to buy it because guess what? I'm the only person providing that. What did that happen? How did that happen? Look at Uber. There hasn't really been a massive company since Uber to reach an Uber level status. You have Uber, Lyft, right? But look at their model. Before, you needed to be a taxi driver for the most part, right? You had to have a certain type of license or credential to become a taxi driver. And those taxis, that market was saturated with taxi drivers, so they could charge whatever they wanted to charge, right? It's a little bit outdated. Most taxis were outdated and controlled. Some of them either being controlled by a certain mafia or something like that. And you had little Uber come in and say, I'm going to make anybody with a car a taxi driver. Think about that model, that business model. I'm going to make anybody with a car a taxi driver who can pick up and drop off people from a transactional standpoint, get you to point A, get you to point B. That changed the entire landscape when you talk about groundbreaking, industry transforming technology, industry transforming innovation to allow or to create something like that. Okay, I'll give you a second example. I'm going to get to film trips and how this all relates. Now take that principle of anybody with a car, obviously based on their standards, of course, you can now become a taxi driver. Okay. Second example comes along, Airbnb. Okay. The traditional model before was you had to go out, right? You go online, you rent a hotel, maybe you rent a motel. Okay. Hotel, motel, or a B&B. In order to do that, you had to have some type of license. You had to have this big facility environment that can accommodate X number of beds, right? Bed and breakfast. You had to provide food, hotel, motel, B&B model. Then comes along Airbnb. Airbnb says, well, you know what? I'm going to take the Uber approach, but not apply it to a car. I'm going to apply it to a house. Now, anybody with a house, again, meeting those certain parameters, they said anybody with a house can now be a hotel, can now act like a B&B, can now act like a motel, preferably a hotel or a B&B. Bed and breakfast. Anybody with a house could now earn an income by renting out their asset, which was their house, right? Micro stays through short-term stays, 10, 15, 20 days, maybe just now a couple months. Think about what that did. You had a huge market that was saturated, going back to Uber, is saturated by taxis. You had a demand for people who want to get to point A. You have these connectivity modes. Nobody was filling that gap. This company came around and said, now, if you have a car, anybody can be a taxi driver and earn income from it. Airbnb came along and said, anybody with a house or a condo or even an apartment can now earn meaningful income and be their own hotel. Now, how does this apply to the creative industry? How does this apply to the creative industry? I already said there's a saturated market of creators. And now we have the best technology we've ever had. You combine those two, every single industry has a creator in it. Now, what is missing? The digital landscape is saturated, but people still want content. People still want to be seen and heard now more than ever they have before. People are getting digital fatigue, and they're now requesting and demanding and looking for and wanting to spend their dollars to attend in-person experiences that are meaningful, right? So now, remember what I said, a creator is someone who creates meaningful content that can be consumed or experienced digitally or in person. The creator economy digitally is saturated. The creator economy is now moving to in-person experiences. Before, only the big brands could put on in-person activations. Now, with technology and more creators than ever, now is the time where creators can create meaningful in-person experiences centered around content. I'm going to break that down for you. This is so exciting. This is why film trips exist. This is a new intersection of the creator economy, the brands, and in-person experiences. Think about if Uber and Airbnb had a baby who turned out and said, I don't want to ride Uber. I don't want to do what you did, Mom. I want to create content and in-person experiences, and I want to do what you did. Now, anybody with a phone can host a meaningful experience that someone out there in their local community wants to attend and will pay for. I said that right. Any creator with a phone or higher can now create meaningful content and a meaningful experience that people want to attend. That people want to remember. They can consume in person or they can consume on their phone. They want to consume your content in person, dear creator. What does this mean? This means, I'm going to say this term to give it a more capitalistic approach, a more government, more official approach. Micro-tourism. Micro-tourism is about to boom because the creator economy the creators, I should say, are going to become the new host. They're going to become the new, quote unquote, Uber drivers. They're going to become the new, quote unquote, Airbnb host. And we call them film trip host. Film trip is the nostalgic feeling that you get that's rooted in community, that's rooted in culture, that's rooted in that in-person experience. Everybody remembers when they took that field trip when they were a kid, when they went to the aquarium, they went to a park, they went to maybe grad bash when they were in 12th grade graduating, their graduation ceremony. Everybody remembers these micro experiences or large experiences at that. That feeling they got, the nostalgia. It felt good. I remember that. Always stick with me. That is now what any creator with a cell phone or a camera can create a micro experience that gives that same feeling, that same gusto. Because guess what? At the end of every event, content goes right in their inbox, goes right in there, whatever that content. It may be a vlog. It may be a reel on Instagram. It may be real, hey, you're going live. Every participant now has a chance to remember that experience, that in-person experience through the meaningful content that was created by that creator. Mark my words, the creator economy is going to fuel the micro tourism, the local tourism. With film trips the vision for this is there to be thousands. You can go to any city, anywhere, any state, any country. There's going to be hundreds of thousands of micro events. When I say micro, less than 25 people. That's what I consider micro. I say less than 50, but really for an individual person, less than 25. 25 or less is manageable by one person. That now, whether it's a bar run crawl, whether it's we're talking about innovation and technology, any creator can now put a phone, boom, and record and take videos and take photos. And at the end of that event, disseminate that content to the attendees. Now, every attendee is seen and heard, and that creates the culture of that creator in person. The in-person creator no longer has to rely on the brand deal, no longer has to rely on the algorithm, no longer has to rely on waiting for the opportunity passively. Film Trips is that platform, is that marketplace where you can activate your natural or your cultivated talents. Whatever it is that you believe in. You like going to the beach. You like taking long walks on the beach. Take a group of 10 to 15 people who also love doing that and pour love into them with your video and photo content. And let them pay $10, $15, $20, $50, $100, whatever your community is willing to pay. You can now earn on your terms. You don't have to wait for the 9-to-5er. You can have a 9-to-5 and still do this. You can have full-time, part-time job and still create meaningful experiences, whether once a month or every day. You can make this your full-time. All you need is a little consistency in terms of what is the value that you're providing as a creator. All you need is a mode of content creation, whether it's a big boy camera or it's a cell phone. I'd rather you spend money on a cell phone, I'd rather you spend $50 to $100 a month than dropping 25, $3,000 on a camera. Start small. So I'm telling you now, this isn't me just saying this. All I'm doing is taking the research out there and using my creativity to synthesize. I want to create Film Trips to be a community-powered application, a community-powered platform where the creators set their own price. They don't have to wait for the brand deal. And as a matter of fact, when they get consistent with the micro film trip experience, with the film trip experience they're creating, the brands are going to notice. And then you can reach out and say, hey, I do this activation of 20, 25 people, 10, it could be 5 people, but they're ultra curated. There's no longer having to guess, okay, well, maybe those people paid money to be in person and experience that creator. That is value. That is validation in itself. So that is a captive audience. Now the brands are going to be running less to the people who can put out a post. There's still going to be a market for that, of course, always. But the in-person creator is like the creative industry bubbling up, and now it's getting ready to split into online creators and into in-person creators. Film Trips caters to the in-person creators who can create meaningful content, who can create meaningful experiences that allow people to be their truest selves. Whether we're talking about saving the environment and we're going to do a film trip experience, we're going to walk we're in Tampa, we're going to walk through the mangroves and show the mangroves and point them out and see why is this beneficial for the community. There's somebody out there who can film that, who loves talking about that. And they're going to go, and they've been trying to wait for the brand deal. They've been chasing the algorithm, and they're going to go, they're going to go from sleep to waking up and go, all I need is a little consistency. And that's where I come in as the founder of Film Trips. I want to be able to take your micro experience. I want to take those creators who value in person, who value people, not just a like, not just a click. I want to pour love into them. I'm starting in Tampa Bay, but this is going to expand. And guess what? We have the platform. We have the platform to make this a community-powered platform where people can find your experiences. Wherever there's one, you take that one person shows up, guess what? That means someone paid for your experience. That's more money than you're making trying to post these Instagram videos and YouTube videos and waiting for the check to come in. You made $10. You made $10 off of one person. That's one person who believed in you. Guess what they're going to do when you take videos and photos of that person? 9 times out of 10, they're going to share it because they know one of the deliverables is them being seen. You create your own platform now. Now you're the brand to help people be visible. And you can do it in your backyard. You can do it in your community you live in. You don't got to travel a billion places. Or you can take the show on the road and be a traveling person. Hey, I'm coming to your city. Check out, join my next film trip. We're going to be doing a walk on the beach. We're going to be doing a talk about the state of technology in Wyoming. There's someone out there who cares about what you're talking about. I had to step back and, whoa. And I had to use my creativity to say, okay, how do I get ahead of the curve? This next generation, the 21s, the 19-year-olds, they want to do stuff in person. They don't just want the, chase the algorithm mindset. They want genuine generosity and genuine, how did I say? They want people to be genuine. These 21-year-olds, these next generation of creators and creators, they want to see you in real life. They don't want to just know that you're an AI bot or you're just using an AI video to pump out content. There's always going to be a space for that and a use case. But where the money is going to start lending itself to, from the creator economy, where people who I want to spend money. I want to go see my favorite creator in person. I want to hang out with them for a few hours. I want to go take a walk on the beach. I want to go do a bar crawl. I want to go talk about economics with my favorite creator who talks about economics in person. I want to go talk about spirituality and spiritual concepts. I want to go talk about aliens and extraterrestrials. There is a community out there who wants to attend your event. And now guess what? Brands. Guess what? Companies. Guess what? Corporations. You're going to be looking for these creators to create activations and custom film trips for your audience, for your community. Because guess what? They align. You're instantly going to know instantly that creator aligns with my values. I want to give them money to create an experience for my employees, for my freelancers, for my whatever it is. Don't sleep on this opportunity. I'm telling it to you now, because film trips is going to be the next Uber, and not in the sense of the business model in terms of what they're doing, but in the sense of breaking down the industry, transforming and innovating the industry. The next Airbnb, where now everybody who has a phone or who has a camera and can create a meaningful experience for people to attend in person, those are going to be the winners, because in person is never going away. Digital, you get digital fatigue. You get all types of AI. You don't know what's real. We like, it's pushing and fueling for this movement to be in person. And you can monetize. No platform does this right now because why? They're thinking volume. Think about Eventbrite. Think about Posh. These are platform event curating experiences where they're platforms that you can host your experience on. But guess what? None of them specialize and focus in creators. Film Trips specializes in creators. The creators are the host. And you better bet once this word gets out, there's going to be creators who want to create their own events and want to create their micro experiences, less than 25. Let's crunch the numbers, y'all. Let's crunch the numbers. Imagine a creator who's like, you know what, I'm going to commit to myself. I'm going to do this. I do one event a week. One event a week. I like taking photos at the park. I'm going to use my phone. I'm going to charge $10. Imagine you're doing this one time a week. Let's say you have 2 sessions in a day. Hey, I'm going to do this on a Friday. I'll do it on a Saturday. Let's say Saturday. It's a 2-hour session. Up to 20 people. They're going to pay $10. 10 people pay, or 20 people pay $10. That's $200 you just made. If you have 2 sessions in a day to come hang out, hey, we're going to do a walk on the beach. Get some photos while you're at it. Vibe with me. I'm a creator. This is my vibe. 20 people show up, pay $10. That's $200. You have 2 sessions in a day and the same amount of people, that's $400. You're doing that one day a week for 2 sessions every week. So now you have 400 times 4. That's $1,600, y'all. $1,600 extra a month. What is that going to do for the average household income? Let's just say flat out it was $1,000. Let's say however you worked it, however many people came, you made an extra $1,000 a month. Times 12. That's $12,000 extra dollars you just made on your own terms. On the weekend, doing it once a week. This is what I do. I like baking. Come attend my baking. I'm going to show you how to bake. It's 10 to 20 people. We're going to be at my house. We're going to be at this whatever makes sense for you. I just gave you a $12,000 strategy at minimum. If you're making $30,000 a year, if you're making $25,000, $30,000 a year, you're making $40,000 a year. And I gave you a way to monetize your creativity. And you're already posting, trying to get the brand deal. You're already a creator. You already got your phone. You're already posting. Okay. You're already doing these things. If I can give you a way to monetize your gifts, your passions, your purpose, your remembrance, this is what you want to do. I love doing this. If I gave you a way to monetize and create an in-person experience, would you join? I gave you a way to make an extra $12,000 a year. For some people, that would be life-changing. An extra $1,000 a month. And don't just think about the financial capital. Think about this, your personal equity. And I got this from Meg Charles. She's an amazing person. Your personal equity. How many people, your social fluency, how many people are you going to meet? If 20 people came out in a session, that means you make 20, and in one day, in another session, you made another 20. You met another 20. That's 40 people. 40 people that you just met. Times 4, if you did this one time a week and you were just consistent. 40 times 4. 40, 80, 120. You met 160 people in a month? Those 160 people are now tagging, sharing, and sending your content out. You don't need the algorithm, y'all. This is the way. Talk about hacking, and this is the way to combat the algorithm. It's to do it in person. You control the narrative. You control the flow. You control the pricing. You control everything. That is what Film Trips is capable of, because it's centered and built by creators. And the business model is not hard. Okay, well, what's in it? How do you make money? We take a platform fee. Right now, Airbnb takes a percentage. Uber takes a percentage. Just like most of these other apps out there, we take a percentage. But here's the difference. Our whole platform is catered toward creators, so you can connect with other creators. Here's a cool thing. You can't do 2 Uber trips. Hey, we're both driving Uber at the same time riding the highway. No, you can now partner with other creators that you resonate with. You can partner with those creators. And guess what? Now you both can make money. Hey, you have your event, but you're both doing a walk on the beach. Now instead of just 20 people, you got the other creator. Now you got 40 people walking on the beach, having fun. Now you can host your own event. We got 10 different creators. Now the creators have the power. Film trips put the power back into the creator's hand. We don't have to worry about the brand deal. We don't have to worry about the algorithm pushing our content or not pushing our content. We don't have to worry about how many likes am I getting. We can focus on creating an in-person experience that fuels our personal passion, that fuels another person's personal passion. We can keep the price affordable. You as a creator set the price. You want to charge $100? That's what your community is willing to pay for? Charge it. You want to charge $500 and that's what your community is willing to pay for? Charge it. And now you can activate other creators to partner with, to build collaborations with. You want it to be a free event or $5? Let it be. You can do it, right? This is the time for creators who've been on the sidelines, for creators who already have, whether you're, I call it an emerging creator, or if you're an established creator. Now is the time to take your creativity, take your passion. I don't know who's going to sign up for it. It may be the 21-year-olds, it may be the 30-year-olds, it may be the 40-year-olds, but I have a feeling. I have a very strong feeling that's not just my feeling, but it's rooted in research. The next wave of the creator economy is going to pivot and funnel into the micro tourism economy. It has to, because the digital landscape is now blending with the real in-person experiences. The digital landscape is now, we want it to be a reflection of experiences and in-person experiences, not just here's a recap of what happened, but next time come join this. We're going to be in House of Vegano, vegan sushi, eating sushi. I'm going to be hosting film trips there, right? Places that I align with and resonate with. Now I can test experiments, see, and now my audience is going to know me for that thing. Hey, Imani loves doing nature hikes. He loves kayaking. I'm going to attract the kayakers. But if I do another one and I go to a restaurant, they're like, I like Imani's personality. I'm going to draw and naturally attract the people who want that experience. So it breaks down the barriers of industries. You no longer have to be in one industry. I just do this. This is what I do. No, you can get really good at that and you can also branch out. But now it's about energy. It's about authenticity. It's about, do I resonate with you and your content? It's no longer about how many likes you have. It's no longer going to be about, well, what's the latest? Are you getting brand deals? It's no longer going to be about the exclusivity club. The exclusivity club. Well, you don't have this, so therefore you can't enter. It's affordable. Okay, at least be willing to put it out and say, hey, yeah, if you can afford this, I want you here. But it also gives the affordability for other creators who, I just need to make an extra $500. I need to make an extra $1,000 a month, and that's life-changing for me. Those creators are going to create experiences that are still meaningful, and can other creators who maybe can't afford $500, but they can do 10, 20, 50, even 100. There's people out there who are like, yeah, I'll pay for that. All right. So this is what Film Trips is about. It's about breaking down the barriers to in-person experiences, because the creators, anybody with a cell phone or higher that can make a meaningful experience, that can create meaningful amount of content. Notice I did not say professional. Obviously professionalism helps, but that's why we have the term UGC, user generated content, meaning it's not polished. It's not this professionally curated vibe. Anybody who can pull out a phone and say, yeah, I know how to take pictures and take videos, and I want to get known for taking pictures and videos of this specific experience and cultivating that, you're going to be a winner in the upcoming years. Look what happened to the Uber drivers that first started. Look what happened to the first Airbnb hosts. Now they're super hosts. Now they got 10,000 rides. They're getting the extra perks and things like that. So I'm ending this off. Film trips is about community. It's about culture. And there's so many different communities and cultures. And I tie that in with Black Stock Footage, my other initiative, because guess what? The creators want to get paid. I want to host, personally, I'm going to host film trips for models only. I'm going to have certain film trips that's just for models. If you want to join my film trip, you're going to have your portfolio already on Black Stock Footage. I'm going to chop up the content. You're going to pay for this experience because I'm investing my creative energy into you. And the content we create from that is now going to be housed on your portfolio on Black Stock Footage. I'm one creator. I just created a connectivity. So now through film trips, I get to activate my own personal gifts. And thousands of other creators are going to be able to also activate their own gifts for storytelling, for bringing people together. And it's going to be done through a way where it's going to be a win-win for everybody involved. And we're going to have this massive economy. This is my vision. And it starts with you as that creator. I'm starting in Tampa Bay. It starts with you to get out of your own head. I had to do it, so I understand. Get out of your own head. Let's pour into each other. I'm going to host film trips for creators. My vision is to empower creators so they understand the formula and they can create their own formula that works for them, whether it's once a month or once a week or whatever makes sense. To be able for creators like you to host your film trip and attract the audience that resonates with your brand. But guess what? Here's the catch. There's always a catch. If you're not visible, if I can't see you, if I don't know who you are, if I can't feel your personality, if I can't resonate with you, if you don't even give me the chance because I don't see you, how can I know you exist? That is the catch. You have to let the world know you exist, creator. And that is my job. I want to help people know you exist. As many creators as I can before it takes a life of its own and is breathing. Film Trips is breathing and flowing and growing on its own. I want to help as many creators as I can get known through the Film Trips platform. People, creators specifically, who want to host micro experiences in their own backyard. When I say backyard, their own city, where they can go drive up the block, go to that bar, go to that studio, go to that religious temple, go to that spiritual place, go to that herbal center, go to that beach, go walk and create content. I want to focus on those people who are ready to build a community, build their own community, but also build a community of creators where we can show up for each other again as much as I possibly can. Right? What's in it for me? What's the catch? Well, what's in it? There's always a catch. It's a business, right? But we're breaking down those barriers so you can be seen, you can be heard, you can monetize your passion. Why? What's my incentive? If you're hosting it on the Film Trips platform, our platform gets a percentage. We want to be able to showcase your service that you're offering, your experience that you're offering. Just make sure that it's rooted in authenticity. Make sure that it's rooted in love. Make sure it's rooted not just a money grab, because people are going to leave a review. Just like Uber, just like Airbnb, people are going to leave a review based on the experience that you curate. It's not the experience I curate. I'm going to be hosting my own, so I'm going to get rated as well until I'm in a management where maybe I can't do it no more and I'm step up to a management part. But this is me creating generational wealth, not just for me, but being able to activate so many other creators out there, old, young, who want to create something of their own. Now, I'm not going to promise generational wealth in the sense of how people think about it, but when I say generational, Anybody in the age bracket can now pick up a phone, as long as they know how to use a phone, and be able to create something for themselves in their own city, in their own backyard, in their own hood, in their own neighborhood. And that's what Film Trips is all about. Curating the culture, curating the community, curating experiences, and being able to capture that meaningful content and tell a story. Tell a story that hopefully is rooted in love, respect, dignity, where other people can come out and enjoy what you have to offer. That is powerful, and that is what Film Trips is all about. Imani Lenz, I'm a creative artist. Why am I doing this? Because creativity is the new currency. Creativity is the new currency. And very few people, I'm so thankful that I have the brain that I have and the spirit that I have to create platforms to monetize our creativity. These are the new innovators. Creativity is the new currency. I'm leaving you with that. And I've cracked the code, if you want to call it that. I downloaded the message and now I'm activating it. Film Trips. Let's go.